Hi guys, this is Lindsay Coyle, and this is for ArtOfEnough. My last video, I kind of delved into who I am and how I kind of got to where I was, and I went into the whole pro-choice, pro-life thing, so didn't expect that, and that's where I went. So let's go from there. Just to give you a little preface though, today was a rough day for me. I am taking a course with Landmark Worldwide, and I've been working with them since like 2017, 18. And it's great work. Like, I went in there, it's funny because I went in, I was thinking, I've started a business. I had a life coach at the time, and I thought, I need to learn to self-manage better. So I'm going to take this. And it was called the Curriculum for Living. A friend called me and told me about it and asked me if I wanted to come to this introduction night. And the night that they were asking me just didn't work. So I said, well, just send me the information. You've had this conversation before, right? So I looked it up, and the Curriculum for Living is actually like there's a Landmark Forum, and then there's like an advanced, and then there's this self-expression leadership program, and in there were these seminars that you could take. I didn't know anything about it. Other than I was like, sounds like it's going to help you, become better self-managed. So I was like, yeah. Called the accountant, and they were like, yep, that's a write-off. And I was like, cool. So I went into this. I signed up for the first part of this Curriculum for Living, and with the intention that I'm doing the whole thing because that's how it's designed. So I was like, well, I'll just do it. And so I went to this forum, and it's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a Tuesday evening. So 3.5 days, or 3 days and 1 evening. And I went in there because of business. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to, learn and be better equipped for business. That's what I went in for. That is not what I got out of it. And not to say not, it's just what I got out of it in that moment when I was like, holy crap, was my life, not just business. Like, that was business is such a small part of my life. And I realized a lot of things during that forum. One of the best things that I learned was that my daughter, I love my daughter, and she's my child. You love your children. Like, there's just nothing there that is not love. And I always called her my difficult child. She challenges me like a lot. Everything is a fight or an argument, what she wears, what she eats, anything. She's like, she knows what she wants, and since she was a baby, there is no telling her what to do. You gotta get her on board. And she was hilarious because as a baby, when I took her in for her immunization shots, the nurse was like, she's gonna cry. I was like, she's not gonna cry. And they're like, babies always cry. I'm like, she's gonna yell at you, and you'll see. And the nurse was like, okay. So when they're babies, they don't do it in the arm, they do it in their thigh. And I don't want to see my children in pain in any way, shape, or form. And when that nurse stuck the needle in my daughter's thigh, the way my daughter lifted her big chubby cheeks, and she had big chubby cheeks, and the lower lip comes out and it's quivering, and she just looked at the nurse and was like, and just screamed at her. And the nurse was like, I have never seen that before. And I was like, that's my daughter. Because I know when she's hungry. She didn't cry that she was hungry. She wasn't like, something's wrong, help me. She was like, feed me. Rah! And I knew what she wanted because she was very clear. What she wants is what she wants. And I have that daughter in my life because I needed that daughter in my life. And anyways, in the forum, I realized who I made her be. And I made her be my difficult child. And I made her, the child that challenges me on everything, which she does. And I looked at her through that filter. And I reacted to her through that filter. And I saw her when she talked to me through that filter. And I made my daughter be the difficult child. And through the forum, there's lots of work that goes on there and it's not like, it's not through an act of knowing. You could know all the things in the world and it doesn't make the difference. It was an experience of humans all sharing within a context of how they were leading you through it, of really breaking down like your false beliefs and your filters that you have and the biases and things like that, and how you realize how it shapes how you act and how you see things, and kind of tearing it down so that you can work from a blank canvas. And so on that weekend, while I went there to become a better business owner, I became a better mom. And I didn't even think I was a bad mom. And I wasn't a bad mom. I was a regular mom that had a constraint around my daughter. And I could see that if I continued to be that kind of mom with her, and she was only 7 at the time, that we weren't going to be close. I wasn't going to have her trust. So I got my daughter based on nothing but me recognizing that I'm human, and I just saw her through a filter that did not serve her or me. And so to have that filter removed and all of a sudden see my daughter for this little girl, this loving, spunky, tenacious, take no shit, do no harm girl, there was no question that I was going to complete that curriculum for living, because if I got that from like the first part of it, who knows what I was going to get from the rest of it. So yeah, I continued on, and since then I have gotten to know my daughter, and she's from 7 to 9 now, 2 years later, and I had no idea who she really was. And I thought I knew her. And I didn't. I knew the difficult child that I made her be. And the daughter that I have, so much more than that. So I got my daughter from that. And then I continued on and did the other parts of the curriculum for living. And this video is not going to be long enough for me to actually give you everything that I got. But, actually it's not a but, it's an and. That's something I also got from there. Because we act like it's an either or. Like, I want to go on holidays, but I don't have the money. Where do you go from there, right? Well, what if you said, I want to go on holidays and I don't have a lot of money? That opens up possibility, doesn't it? Like all of a sudden you're like, okay, so what does it look like then? Like if you don't have a lot of money, maybe you're not going as far, and maybe, you're not going to do this, and maybe you're camping, maybe you're doing that. Like it actually has you just think differently when you put and instead of but. So that's something that I've tried to be more conscious of, is that buts don't need to exist, because I don't have to limit myself. I can have it all. Yeah. As I say this, looking like this morose, like it's been a tough day. Such is life. Not every day is easy. If it was easy, I'm like, who's got an easy life? My mom and I were talking today, and she was talking about how it's scarier right now. And I was like, why is it scarier? She's like, the pandemic. And I was like, why is it scarier? I'm like, a pandemic can happen any moment and any time. There'd be some virus. And we're in a moment where we know it's here. Yay. We know it's here. They're telling us what we need to do. Do it. I don't care. Do it or don't do it, actually. I don't care. Excuse me. So I was like, that part doesn't really scare me. I mean, let's just be responsible about it. Okay, cool. And I was like, would I have always said that? Like, would I have seen this as the way it is for me? Yeah, I don't know. This is probably not the most inspiring video that I'll ever put out, and that's okay, because I don't want to be put on a pedestal. I don't want to be this inspiring thing that you go to like look for answers. I want to be the human being that reminds you that you're human and that you're good and that we're not broken. Sometimes we lose our way, but we're not broken. We're whole. Somebody said something to me 2 years ago. It was actually from one of the courses I took, or I think the seminar I took. And somebody said, we're like the moon, and that we have the phases of the moon where, you're a quarter and a half and a 3/4, and then you're a full moon. And they were like, but the moon is actually always full. It's always a full moon. It's just we define it based on what we can see in that moment. I'm like, so relate yourself to the moon. You are always whole and complete. And others will make you less than whole just based on what they can see in that moment. But that doesn't make it true. It's just what they can see or understand in that moment. There's some space there for grace and compassion. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I told my kids I'm going to watch another episode of Stranger Things. We're doing a Netflix series together, and we're on season 3. And I never realized what a chicken shit I am, and that I can't sit still if I'm scared. So it's like we're doing aerobics, jumping around and trying not to stare directly at the TV, but like watching and then moving and jumping and doing things all the while. I'm exhausted by the time I go to bed, and I sleep really good. I thought, oh my God, I'm getting adrenaline and I'm scared. I'm never going to sleep. No, not actually the case. And it's funny because my kids are like doing the same thing. They're running around with pillows in front of their faces, or they're like stuffing their face in my belly and like squeezing me super tight and jumping up and down because it's super uncomfortable because we're scared. And it's awesome. Like, it's awesome. So I am going to go watch that episode with them. And I'm just going to leave you with this. It's not my best video, but it is where I'm at today. And today was a shitty day. A little bit messy and missy. A little bit of missy too. Okay? Anyways, take care. Bye.